In this video, what we're going to be taking a look at is shared line appearances. This video is going to be two segments. The first part is going to be showing you in VoiceWare how to set up shared line appearances and some of the caveats when you're setting it up. The second part of the video is going to be taking a look at the actual phone when you have shared line appearance set up to see how it functions and what abilities you have with that with the phone and with shared line appearance. So let's take a look at first off how to set up shared line appearance. It is very simple. First you go to the devices page, and then from the devices page over on the left hand side you're going to have SLA groups. Click that, and then you're going to add a new group. Now we already have an admin group here, but we're going to add a new group, and we're just going to call it FD for front desk. And that's all you need to do in that step. Simply create a group. All it requires is a name, no additional setup. Next, we'll go back to devices. And you can see on the devices page, we have a couple of phones that are already assigned to the admin group. So you can see from this page that it's very easy to identify which phones are in which SLA group. We're going to select this phone though to be in our front desk group. So you simply select the group, select save, and you see now that it's in the front desk group. Obviously, you're going to want to put more than one phone in the SLA group. There's not much point to a shared line appearance group if there's only one phone in it. So you're going to want to select multiple devices to put them in that group. The only limitation here is that a device can be only part of one SLA group at a time, not multiple. So you could be part of the FD group, admin group, or no group. There's a couple other caveats that you're going to want to be aware of. In the phones page, when you're setting up auto configs for the phones, what you need to be aware of is that in order for shared line appearance to really be functional, you're going to need to assign multiple line keys. So right here we have line 1, and we only have one line key assigned. This is not appropriate. You're going to need at least 2 or 3, possibly more if it's a very busy location like the front desk. So you would select at least 3 and click save. Then reboot the phone and make sure that it has multiple line key appearances. The other thing, and this is quite possibly the most commonly missed part of shared line appearance, is that normal call groups don't work properly for phones in a shared line appearance group. So for example, if we're setting up that front desk series of phones, let's say we have 2 or 3 at the front desk, and we want them all to be in a shared line appearance. That's great, we can do that, but you cannot and should not put those phones into a normal call group and then point 0 to that call group. So for example, our operator group here, we would normally put the phones in there, point 0 to this operator group, and have all those phones ring together. This will not work in the shared line appearance situation. So what you need to do is you need to go to the dial plan, add extension, and this can be any extension you want. I believe I'm already using 0. No, I'm not. And what you want to do is find your shared line appearance group, SLA group right here. And your timeout can be to go to a different extension or to simply hang up. Depending on the situation, you may want to set your timeout to something like 9999 and then set the timeout action to go to the front desk user's voicemail. This again is best practice in case that all of the phones at the front desk go offline. Then you don't have the call group spinning, or in this case the SLA group spinning, and the call not getting answered. So this again is very important. sometimes people will say, oh, the shared line appearance doesn't work, or calls into the shared line appearance can't be moved from one phone to the other, or if I get a call and I put it on hold, it disappears and I can't retrieve it. These are all symptoms of not properly setting it up and not properly understanding that the SLA group extension type exists and must be used when you want calls to go to the group of phones that are in that shared line appearance and be able to be transferred from one phone to the other. It is possible to call a phone directly and still have shared line appearance work. So you can call the user's extension directly. It'll ring only that one phone. Oh, extension does 0 does already exist, so we'll do something else. 352. So as I was saying, if you call the user's extension directly and they're in the shared line appearance group, that is fine. That will still work. You can still put that call on hold and someone else can pick it up within that shared line appearance group. There's no problem there. The problem we run into is when you want to have multiple phones ring and have that call that's around multiple phones be able to be answered by any one of them, then put on hold and picked up by another phone. That's where you must set up this SLA group extension type. It's, again, one of the biggest caveats and one of the biggest problems we see with improper setup is people will just put the SLA group phones in a normal call group, and that's not going to work. So we'll save that here, and that will add the extension to the system. So that covers the setup inside of VoiceWare. Again, we set up an SLA group and assign it to a device under the devices page. Under the phones page, we ensure that a phone has multiple line appearances. Otherwise, the SLA group is not going to be very useful. And then we go to the dial plan and we create an SLA group extension type that will ring all of the phones that have been assigned that selected SLA group. Next, we're going to take a look at the actual phones themselves and see, once we have SLA set up, what does it look like and what are some of the functions and features that we have. All right, so let's take a look at how shared line appearance actually functions. So we have two phones here. I have a VTech Snom set up with shared line appearance and a Polycom. Note that both phones have multiple line appearances. So if I call into the shared line appearance group, we'll notice that both phones ring. I can then answer the call over here, and you'll notice that this phone says that the call was completed elsewhere and shows that James is on the line. If I go back to my Polycom and I go ahead and place the caller on hold, I then have the option on the VTech phone of simply pressing this button and being able to be connected with the caller. I can do the reverse as well. So I can place the caller on hold here. And then on this side, I can go ahead and press the button and be reconnected with the caller. There's one other feature that you can use with shared line appearance that is rarely used, and that is the barge in feature. So while this call is active, if I'm on another phone and I want to interject myself into that call, I can do so. I can go to this phone here. I can press the button here. It says, do you wish to barge in? Say okay. And now I've started a three-way call. And anytime I can simply hang up. And the call is still in progress on this phone.
So that's the basics of shared line appearance and how it functions.